What's the weirdest, most unusual thing you've ever witnessed in public? I was on a train. Waiting for me to reach my goal. I witnessed a young woman open her purse, remove a piece of watermelon, bite into it, dripping all over the place, and then replace it inside. Without any packaging of any kind. A woman at a park got sprayed point blank in the face by a skunk. She instantly fell to her knees, vomited twice, and then passed out. No one dared get close enough to see if she was okay. I hope she was. I used to work at Walmart as a janitor. I got called to the front of the store and I got to watch as some lady tweaked out in front of the ATM machine and she danced in a puddle of her own piss. By the time the cops showed up, she was starting to take her clothes off. The two teenage girls that were with her were using this distraction to fill their backpacks with makeup. After they were all taken away, I had to clean up the urine and clean off the ATM. I was peeing in an alley after leaving the club. Further down on the other side of the dumpster, there were two people in the alley shooting up and sharing the syringe. The guy one with the needle in his arm pulls it out and hands it to the next guy who inspects its contents. Guy 2 looks at the guy 1 who just finished shooting up and says, "You motherfucker, there's nothing left." Guy 1 is nodding off and doesn't respond. Guy 2 shouts, "I ain't getting dope sick on my own," and pulls an Arkan thing out of his coat and stabs Guy 1 in the leg with it and sprints off down the alley. Guy 1 comes out of his nod and screams and takes off down the alley after Guy 2. I don't know shit about IV drugs, but I was pretty shocked at the whole encounter I witnessed. I go to UC Berkeley where there are a lot of crazies, homeless, hippies, you name it. On campus, there is this dude we call X Guy. No idea if he is homeless, but he is definitely mentally ill. His clothes are covered top to bottom in excess. He just stands under Sather Gate for like 10 hours with his hands in the air saying boom in a sing-song way. Every day. You can even go up to him and join in and he loves it. But he never says anything other than boom. X Guy on RBERKLEYHTTPS://www.reddit.com Berkeley's VQTY op. I saw a clown urinating into a public fountain once. The year is 2007. It's about 1:30 p.m. and I've snuck out of the house to hang out with my friends. We were waiting by the pizza place. Some of them were working the late non-closing shift while they finished up, and there was a lone homeless man sleeping on the sidewalk by the closed businesses. We were having a fun chat about the alcohol we were going to drink and the weed we were going to smoke when suddenly the homeless man sat up, Undertaker style. As soon as he got to his feet, he starts walking straight ahead, but not towards us, and peeing. He never pulled his dick out, apparently it had always been out. He's not holding it, his arms are swinging at his sides, and his dick is swinging, too. The stream of piss is just going wee 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 from side to side. We all immediately stopped talking and watched in stunned silence as he kept pissing for about 15 feet. Once he was done, he just kept on his merry way and walked straight into the 711. He never did put his dick away. A kid on a field trip stood too close to the lined enclosure. Lion promptly turned around and urinated all over him. Whole class started gagging and the teacher was freaking out, not knowing what to do. You know those sticks that dog walkers use to throw the tennis ball further? I saw a guy just throw the whole thing, with a ball attached. Dude did it twice. While visiting Ukraine long before the war, I went with my fiancé to a dog park and found a man tied to a tree, half naked, with a sign above his head. My fiancé told me that he was an animal abuser according to the sign and this was his punishment. The dog poo bins at the dog park were all locked up. Instead, I noticed a couple people taking their dog poo bags over to the abuser, turning it inside out and smearing it on him. I was a little worried about doing that too since I felt bad for him, but all the dog poo disposal bins at the park were locked, and the only one available was right next to the offender. I didn't want to seem like I supported an abuser, so I did it too. There were police cars in the parking lot too, 30 feet away, so I'm guessing it was some sort of semi-sanctioned punishment. She told me it was likely to make sure people don't get too carried away in what they do to him. I watched a woman in the middle of the food court at the mall pull her skirt down, pee on the floor and just walk away. I'm not even kidding. Mall security did track her down and I'm sure she got arrested, but what in the world? I saw a woman sitting on a public bench cutting nose hair with nail scissors. Never seen that before. Looked dangerous AF too. Heard a Ric Flair style woo-oh. Turned, and saw a guy zooming down the hill on a skateboard. But he was laying on his stomach on the board with his legs out straight behind him and arms outstretched, so he's doing the Superman flight pose. He zoomed around a corner and out of sight saw a dude sitting at a bus stop, deep-throating milk bottles. Likely not the strangest thing I've seen, but the most recent. Working in a nearby supermarket, I saw a man purchase a wheel of brie, sit in front of it, and consume it entirely. Occurred multiple times too. I was walking my dog one sunny afternoon through a large public park in my city. There was a group of rather heavy-set women dressed in BDSM gear who had set up an apparatus in the middle of the park and were taking turns fastening themselves to it and flogging each other. The funny thing is they were seemingly getting annoyed by those who were taking pictures of them on their camera phones. I mean, if you're going to do this in public, you're kind of giving up your right to privacy. When I was 5, I visited my aunt in Los Angeles. It was the first time I ever saw a homeless person. I remember him because he was in an intense argument with a palm tree.